This f***ing industry is a monster. It's the same monster that these Me Too was trying to tell you about. But they hate the monster for how it f***s, and I hate that monster for how it eats. But my God, man, it's the same monster.
I was sickened. I was sickened by the standing ovation. I felt like Hollywood is just spineless, en masse. And it really felt like, oh, this is a really clear indication that we're not the cool club anymore.
That you are going to be f***ed over at some point by people who you may have done something nice for. And it may happen that by circumstance, or even very purposefully, that you f***ed someone over.
I wasn't walking away from the money. I was walking away from the circumstances with the newfound plateau.
Yeah.
See, before, look, Mariah Carey made a $100 million deal, and 3 months later, she's all of a sudden mysteriously crazy. Or Martin Lawrence punches through and he's waving a gun on the street screaming, "They're trying to kill me."
Yeah.
The greatest entertainers in history share one terrifying truth. They were all afraid of the same man, not for his incredible talent, not for his global fame, but for what he saw in the quiet rooms where the cameras were turned off. Michael Jackson didn't just moonwalk through Hollywood, he danced through its darkest and most hidden secrets. He was a collector of whispers, whispers that could have destroyed the careers of the most powerful people in the world. While everyone else was desperate to be in the club, Michael held the keys to the clubhouse. His famous home, Neverland, wasn't just a fantasy playground for him to escape to. It was a fortress, a vault where he kept his knowledge safe.
Today, we're going to look at the evidence left behind by comedians, insiders, and other stars who escaped the shark. They will finally help us understand why the most powerful figures in entertainment trembled at the very mention of the king of pop and the shocking secrets he knew.
To truly understand why Michael Jackson was such a threat to Hollywood's elite, you first have to see what the system does to anyone who dares to refuse their game. The perfect example is Dave Chappelle. He was the first major star of his generation to publicly expose how the Hollywood machine really works. His story is the blueprint, the instruction manual for how the industry breaks people, and it explains exactly why Michael's refusal to obey made him their #1 target.
To the public, the story they were sold was simple. Dave Chappelle had a complete nervous breakdown. He walked away from a $50 million contract, abandoned his hit show, ran off to Africa, and officially lost his mind. The media machine went into overdrive, painting him as unstable, unreliable, and crazy. It was a clear and simple message. See what happens when you get too big and don't listen? But that was the cover story. The real story, the one they didn't want you to know, was that Dave wasn't running away from success. He was running away from the very same machine of control that would later dedicate itself to consuming Michael Jackson.
You're not supposed to do this in my business. I'm up here doing something that nobody else in this business has the balls to do. I'm telling you something that you need to know. I'm trying to explain to you what you're seeing. You don't understand what you're seeing. I am publicly flogging a network. And I know that this network niggas, they watching me and they saying, why are you doing this so publicly? Doesn't feel good to be flogged publicly. Oh, believe me, I know. I know exactly how that feels. When I quit my show, they said I was crazy. What was crazy about it? I just didn't want to do it anymore. They said I smoked crack. It's impossible. I was a devout Muslim. I didn't smoke or drink. But I do now because you ruined my life.
Dave saw the danger coming and tried to warn everyone.
When Dave came back and tried to explain his side of the story, he immediately hit a brick wall, and that wall has a name: Oprah Winfrey. If you watch how she handles people who tell uncomfortable truths, you'll see the exact same tactics they used on Michael for years. During their interview, Dave tried to explain his very real and serious concerns about the industry, about how people with money get a vested interest in controlling you and steering your art.
I'm glad you're here. Everybody wants to know, why'd you walk away from $50 million?
I wasn't walking away from the money. I was walking away from the circumstances with the newfound plateau.
Yeah.
It was completely outside of my frame of reference. I've been in show business since I was 14. I've heard the stories, seen these kinds of things play out in front of me. I mean, you see before, look, Mariah Carey made a $100 million deal, and 3 months later, she's all of a sudden mysteriously crazy. Or Martin Lawrence punches through and he's waving a gun on the street screaming, "They're trying to kill me."
Yeah, we hear those stories.
And it always happens around the time of their career where it seems as though they're crossing over the next plateau.
Yeah.
It's incredibly stressful.
Yeah.
And I felt like in a lot of instances, I was deliberately being put through stress because, when you're a guy that generates money, people have a vested interest in controlling.
But before he could even finish, Oprah jumped in. She immediately reframed his legitimate points as a problem with his mental health, calling it incredibly stressful and connecting it to other stars who mysteriously went crazy.
This is the playbook. This is their #1 weapon for silencing people. They can't argue with the truth of what you're saying, so they attack your mind. They make the public believe you're broken. They did it to Dave, and it was their primary strategy against Michael for decades. The story they sold was that Dave fled to Africa because he was paranoid. But the real truth was that Dave saw the game for what it was. The industry doesn't just want your talent, it wants to own you.
Dave's escape to Africa looks exactly like Michael's retreat to Neverland. Both men understood they had to build a safe place, a sanctuary far away from Hollywood's influence and control. And for doing that, for wanting a space of their own, both men were labeled as weird, eccentric, unstable, and disconnected from the real world. But what if their isolation wasn't a sign of madness? What if it was the only way to stay sane inside a system that is designed to break you?
Dave Chappelle explained it best when he talked about another star, Martin Lawrence. The public was told that Martin had a mental breakdown when he was found in the middle of a busy street, waving a gun and screaming, "They are trying to kill me." Everyone dismissed him as another celebrity who couldn't handle the pressure. But Dave, having seen the inside of the machine, asked the real question: what is happening in Hollywood that a guy that tough will be on the street waving a gun, screaming, "They are trying to kill me"? He says people aren't crazy. Maybe the environment they are in is sick. This is the exact pattern Michael Jackson was forced to live with every single day. Every time he spoke out against industry corruption, every time he fought for ownership of his own music, every time he simply said no, he was painted as weird, eccentric, and a danger to himself. The public believed it because it was a much easier story to swallow than the terrifying truth that their biggest and most beloved stars live in constant fear of a powerful, hidden system that can destroy them whenever it wants. While Dave Chappelle was learning this hard lesson, another Hollywood veteran, Mel Gibson, had already figured out the secret to how it all works.
Do you understand it?
The social contract?
Yeah.
I think I do.
Yeah. What is it for you?
The social contract. You can't get mad. You can't get mad. You can't let it get you. Because you have to make a deal with everyone else, and it's almost unspoken, that you are going to be fucked over at some point by people who you may have done something nice for. And it may happen that by circumstance, or even very purposefully, that you someone over. But that shouldn't get in the way of you being able to sit down and have fun with them. Am I on the right track? You can't build a resentment about it. You have to still try and love those people.
Yeah.
Because that's the way they're thinking.
Because it ain't personal.
No, it's not personal. They don't really mean to hurt you.
No.
Not really. I don't quite understand. Well, I mean, there's a lot of motivations for why it happens. Yes, many.
I mean, money will make you do stuff as well, won't it? I mean,
Yes.
them, us,
Yes.
you know.
Yeah, well, whoever.
If there's many millions riding on a decision, it's hard to be philosophical.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very hard. Very hard to be, you have to choose what level of integrity you're coming in at. And
Okay.
and I've often felt it. I've sat there and I have felt the knife slipped firmly in between my shoulder blades and tried to have it shoved through the other side through my heart.
He said that to survive in Hollywood, you have to follow an unspoken rule, an invisible agreement he called the social contract. The main rule of this contract is simple. You can't get mad when people betray you. You can't get angry when they lie about you, steal from you, or stab you in the back, because in Hollywood, it's just business. You are expected to just accept the betrayal, let it go, and even sit down and have fun with the people who did it to you.
This is the psychological game that keeps every star in line. It's a form of brainwashing. But Michael Jackson was different. He was the one person who refused to sign their secret contract. When he was betrayed, he didn't just accept it, he remembered it, and he documented it. Because the industry couldn't break his mind with their psychological games, they had no choice but to try and destroy his public reputation. This unspoken social contract is the reason why so many celebrities stay silent for decades about the awful things they see and experience. It's not just that they are afraid, they are literally programmed to accept the system's control. They're taught the betrayal is just part of the business, and that speaking out about it means the end of your career. Dave Chappelle's famous story about being pressured to wear a dress in a movie shows exactly how this programming works. It wasn't just a silly costume choice, it was a power play. When he refused, they didn't just accept his decision, they sent in writers, then the director, then the producers, all to pressure him. They told him he was costing them money, that he was being difficult, and that all the greats before him had done it. It was a humiliation ritual, a test to see if he would obey. Michael Jackson witnessed this kind of manipulation for decades. He saw how the industry would try to break down strong figures and force them to submit. But unlike Dave, who could ultimately walk away from a movie set, Michael was trapped under a global spotlight. He couldn't just leave, so the industry began its long and strategic campaign to discredit him. They took his shyness and called him eccentric to make him seem unstable. They took his desire for privacy and called it guilt to make him seem like a criminal. But Michael was always playing chess while they were playing checkers. He was quietly collecting evidence, building leverage that could have shattered their entire empire.
This is precisely why people like Oprah Winfrey and other powerful figures were so afraid of him. Oprah built her billion-dollar empire on one incredible skill: controlling the narrative. She gets to decide who the public loves, who gets forgiveness, and who gets destroyed. But Michael Jackson was the one celebrity she could never fully control.
Her treatment of him reveals a very disturbing pattern. She chose to give his accusers a massive platform on her show and in documentaries after he had passed away, at a time when he could no longer defend himself. But she acted very differently with other powerful men. She ignored the victims of Harvey Weinstein for years, only distancing herself when his downfall was absolutely certain. This isn't about journalism or finding the truth. This is about strategic character destruction. When Michael passed away, Oprah immediately went on television and publicly distanced herself, claiming they were never really friends. This was a strange statement from someone who had interviewed him multiple times, visited his private home, and publicly supported him in the past. Her quick denial reveals a deep fear of being associated with a man whose secrets she could no longer control now that he was gone. The pattern becomes even clearer when you look at how she handled scandals in her own backyard. When her school in Africa was hit with multiple serious abuse scandals, her response was defensive and focused on damage control. Compare that to how she handled Michael. One unproven allegation, and she was ready to create documentaries about it. While Oprah was busy playing her media games, other stars were quietly waking up to the same truths. Jim Carrey, once the biggest star in the world, grew disgusted with the industry. He was sickened by the fake standing ovation for Will Smith at the Oscars, saying it proved Hollywood was, quote, spineless. He then went on a late-night show and half-jokingly exposed the industry's open secrets, talking about the Illuminati and saying, quote, "I'm sick and tired of the secrets and the lies. Everybody in show business knows what's really going on." He was saying out loud what everyone knows is true. The corruption is not a secret, it's a normalized part of the business. We got another look behind the curtain from Diddy's former assistant. He described preparing hotel rooms for his boss's wild parties. The list included baby oil, endless alcohol, and other substances. One of his jobs was even deleting compromising videos from Diddy's phones and iPads. This is the dark, corrupt world that Michael Jackson witnessed from the very top. He didn't just hear rumors. He saw exactly how the machine operated, who was involved, and who cleaned up the mess.
evidence. So now, the pattern is undeniable. Dave Chappelle ran away to save his sanity. Jim Carrey stepped back from the spotlight to save his soul. Mel Gibson exposed the unspoken rule of silence. But Michael Jackson did something far more dangerous than any of them. He stayed. He saw everything, and he collected the evidence.
The king of pop wasn't just a singer. He was a threat. He refused to be controlled. He knew all of their secrets, and he wasn't programmed to stay silent. His fortress at Neverland wasn't just a retreat. It was an intelligence operation, a library of Hollywood's darkest secrets collected over decades. Every party he attended, every private conversation he had, every confession he heard was another piece of evidence. He was building a case that could have brought down entire empires.
This leaves us with two final chilling questions. Michael is gone, but what happened to the evidence he collected? If it still exists, who has it now? And perhaps more importantly, are there other celebrities out there right now, quietly collecting secrets of their own, waiting for the right moment to finish the work that Michael Jackson died trying to reveal? The truth, as they say, always finds a way to the surface.